We're doing the best we can. Can't get to you right now because we're so covered up and short staffed. We just don't have enough people, so we're going to cut back on our hours. Well, you know what? The problem could be even worse because the busy shopping season is coming up, and places are saying they need thousands upon thousands of workers for the holidays. And places can't even find enough people to work as it is right now. So what's going on with customer service in the midst of all this and rising prices too? Let's find out as we go to the Disc Institute of Pittsburgh Newsline. We are joined by Stephen Semple. He is a business consultant based in the Toronto area, and he is kind enough to join us here on the Rick Dayton Show. Stephen, how are you?
I'm great. Yourself?
I am doing okay. The question is, are you seeing the same things in Canada that we have seen here in the States when it comes to a shortage of hiring workers?
You know, absolutely. You cannot go into a store today and not see a whole pile of signs up saying, for hire, for hire, for hire, all positions. We're even seeing management positions. But here's what's even crazier. A couple of weeks ago, I was over in London, England on a speaking tour, and I was seeing the same thing there. Same thing in the UK. This is not just the United States, not just Canada, but this is a G7 problem.
Yeah, it's not even a North America problem, it sounds like. So the question is, what is happening to customer service because of a lack of employees? I mean, how many times have we waited to get somebody on the phone, and if there's not enough people working, I mean, it's hard enough to get somebody on the phone even when they're fully staffed, right?
Yeah, it's getting killed. And when you add the supply chain issues on it, it's being very, very challenging. There's no question. But there's also lots of things I've been seeing businesses are doing where they're not helping themselves. We've all had this happen. You go on the web, you look up the hours, you go, okay, great. This store's open till 8 o'clock. You drive across town. You walk up to the store, and they say, "Oh, due to staffing shortages, we've closed early today. Our new hours are now 6 o'clock."
Right.
They need to
change it on your website. Change it on the website.
Right.
I mean,
Not
right?
that
It doesn't
hard.
take that much. That's the reason the web is there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or have the answering service on your phone saying, "Here's what our new hours are." But it seems like not only are they just changing hours because of this issue, choosing not to communicate that with anyone.
Right. And I'm sure that they would say, well, it's because we're so short-staffed that we can't get to all those sorts of things as well. So other than, putting up signs, just asking customers to be patient, there's got to be more to it that they can do than that, because that's not good enough. I'm sorry, it's just not.
Well, it isn't. And here's the other area where I'm finding a lot of businesses are hurting themselves. It's amazing how many things we go to order today. You go to order it online or you order it at the store, and they say, "Hey, here's for this extra fee, we'll do expedited shipping." And you go, "Okay, cool, I'll pay the extra $50." And then you get a telephone call or an email, or it just doesn't show up. And wait a minute, why are you even offering this service if you're unable to deliver on this service?
Yeah, right. You don't even
I
have the
find
product to ship, and then you're going to charge me more when you get the product in. And yeah, that's just absolutely mad. So it almost is that they're compounding it. They're making it worse, it seems, by just adding insult to injury.
That's exactly right. And we're getting these surprises after we've handed the check over.
Right.
After we've handed the credit card over, we're hearing, "Oh, well, due to this or due to that, we can't ship it this time, or we can't make that happen." These things need to be communicated before the money changes hands.
Stephen Semple is a business consultant. He's also an author. He's got a podcast. The book that he's got is called Raising Prices. His degree is in marketing and finance, and it's good to have him here on KDKA. So as the consumer, as the person who is feeling frustrated by the lack of customer service, is there anything we can do?
I think it's really tough because, unfortunately, as consumers, we're seeing this across the board. I think one of the things we need to do as a consumer is maybe negotiate a little bit ahead of time. Okay, can you really do this expedited shipping? Or really, what's the experience you're having with deliveries? Like, you're saying this is going to arrive in 2 weeks. What's actually been your experience?
Mm-hmm.
And sadly, that should not be our responsibility as consumers, but there's a certain point where, we're feeling really frustrated, and I think we need to ask those questions before closing on the purchase and handing our credit card over.
But how do you do that if you can't even get somebody on the phone if you're trying to order something, online or from some website? I mean, that's another challenge, isn't it?
That is another challenge. And sadly, I wish I had an answer for you in terms of organizations have also, as you said, compounded the problem by not having anybody available for answering these questions. I'm actually, myself as a consumer, there's a number of things where I've been stepping back and saying, maybe I can postpone this purchase. Do I really need it right now? Maybe I can hold off. And I hate saying that because that hurts businesses, hurts our economy. But the reality is, I think we need to start considering that as an option.
Have you heard of businesses or companies out there that are doing an exemplary job of customer service right now? I mean, going above and beyond and really shining because of that?
What I've been seeing is more on the front of proactive communication. Look, I can give an example. I bought some patio furniture and it got delayed, and then they reached out to me and they said, look, here's the problem. We're really not sure how long this is going to take, and we don't want to keep saying it's a month out, it's a month out, it's a month out. So what can we do to make this work? And I had a conversation with them, and we came up with a solution that worked for both of us by having that proactive conversation.
That makes good sense.
That's a supply chain issue. That's not necessarily a staffing issue, but the other thing that they did on that was set a time, like instead of this endless telephone tag, I got an email from them saying, are you available to speak at this time, or this time? And I think that also makes them more efficient rather than the telephone out, telephone back, telephone out. We have to try to find ways to build those efficiencies as well.
And it ends up making it a more pleasurable experience for both sides because at least you then know what to expect and they know what you expect. And that's, I think, sometimes all we can ask for in these transactions. Stephen, thank you for being here. We sure appreciate it.
Anytime. Thank you.
I don't know that we're any closer to having great customer service coming back, but at least we sort of had an idea what's going on. So we appreciate that. Stephen Semple joining us here again. His book is called Raising Prices, and he is a creator of the Empire Builder Program. He's also got a podcast, and it's good to have him with us here on KDKA.